Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to day two. Today is day two of our Do It for a Day challenge. Challenge being the operative word. Okay, we are going to get started here. Let's make sure that we're good to go. Comments are on. Good. All right. So remember, for this challenge, this is the bulk of the challenge is this live component, but we do have quite a few different people that can't make the live because of the time. So that's okay. There's going to be replays, and I'm going to talk to you about the replay portion in a second. But if you are catching this live, I love to see in the comments, if you want to tell us, I'm here, and you can even say where you're joining us from if you want. So here's the deal. I don't know if you know this, but I'm sure you do. Facebook land, as all social media platforms, can kind of sometimes get wonky. And so what I'm working on for the replay portion is I'm going to be building them in our actual website, because our website is ours, right? And so that usually doesn't go wonky. So all the replays will be there. Good morning, Nancy. So yes, I'm working on that. They're not there yet, but so, you can keep coming back to Facebook to catch the replays. But I am working on that. That was why I was like a minute late here this morning, because I got caught up in doing that. So again, our ministry website is renaissancelifeministries.com, and that's where they will all be. And just because you just never know when something's going to happen with social media. So working on that for the replays. I hope you have pen and paper handy. Maybe have a special notebook that you've designated just for this challenge, because there's going to be a lot of tidbits that you're going to want to jot down, unless you have the book yourself, and then you can highlight it. But make sure you've got notebook and pen handy. And just a quick reminder, if you are interested in I showed you guys yesterday my consistency calendar, which is it's like a year at a glance. And so every month has the blocks for the days. And so as you're building new habits, things that, remember, we talked about yesterday, that they matter, that you can, highlight that in, color that in. And it's really, I don't know, depending on how your brain works, it is really a neat thing to watch. After the 3 month, 2 month, somewhere 6, whenever, when you can look back and you can say, hey, this has really started to shift, like that goal that I have. I can see it coming into play. And then you look at the habits and you say, oh, well, that's why, like, I'm doing the thing, right? Every day. Or the opposite can happen. When you're frustrated as to why certain things aren't happening, the big goal, then you look at the habits that you're doing every day and you're going, oh, I'm not actually doing that thing. I thought about it. It was a great idea. Or maybe you even sensed God dealing with you about something. But here's the thing with our Heavenly Father. He will not twist your arm. He will not. So when he nudges us to do certain things, we have to do it, right? And so for me, it's not condemnation. It just helps me to see patterns, right? And I can say, oh, look, I was really good till like June. And then what happened there? Because from June on, it was like hit and miss. And, so anyway, if you're interested in that, I have that available for you guys for free, but you have to email me and tell me you want it. And then I'll email it to you. It's a PDF, And so you'll need a printer to print it out. And our email is renaissancelifeministries@gmail.com. So if you're interested, let me know about that. All right, let's jump in. So we got 30 days in this challenge, and we are talking about habits. And the idea came to me is why habits? Why are we talking about habits and not goals? Right? And this is a lot that I talk about even on my nutrition page. Why I love the idea of habits is because goals are like our big picture, what we want to see in our life, right? But if we don't break that down into daily things that we're doing, those big goals will never be accomplished, ever, right? So any idea, any goal or vision that you have, or that, again, you believe God has for your life, if that's not broken down, like reverse engineered, right, into what does this look like daily, right? What does this look like weekly? It won't happen. Another year will go by and you'll be wishing something was different, and wondering why it wasn't, etc. So that's why we're actually talking about habits. We're talking about where the rubber meets the road, literally. Okay, day 2. Let's get started. Day 2 is called Take the Stairs. Let me get organized here. Our scripture reference for today is Exodus 13, chapter 13, verse 17. This is in the New Living Translation. It says, God did not lead them along the main road that runs through Philistine territory, even though that was the shortest route to the promised land. In 1987, a group of engineers, entrepreneurs, and earth scientists set out to build an artificial ecosystem in Oracle, Arizona. It was called Biosphere 2, and it encompassed 3.14 acres, making it the largest closed system ever created. Designed as the ideal ecosystem for plant life to thrive, the climate-controlled environment included purified air, clean water, nutrient-rich soil, and natural light. Despite what seemed like perfect conditions, something curious kept happening. The trees that were planted would grow to a certain height, and then they would fall over. After some head scratching, the scientists finally figured out what was missing. The biosphere lacked a critical component for growth. Care to venture a guess? In their natural habitat, trees are buffeted by wind that blows every which way. Trees respond to that wind resistance by growing stronger bark and deeper roots. Without adversity, trees atrophy. Newsflash, humans do too. One of the mistakes that we make as parents and as leaders is this: we do everything within our power to create emotional and relational and spiritual biospheres. We avoid conflict. We mitigate risk. We minimize discomfort. We sidestep sacrifice. Then we wonder why people grow to a certain stature and then stop. We wonder why leaders fall. We wonder why friendships experience a falling out. Like seeds planted in rocky soil, they lack the root systems to sustain growth. You don't have to go out and look for resistance. It will find you soon enough. My advice: don't look for a workaround, work through it. Just as Nation waded into the water, you have to kiss the wave. The obstacle, oh, I love this. You might want to write this down. The obstacle is not the enemy. The obstacle is the way. In fact, harder is better. Oh, Lord, help me, Jesus. Without that mindset, you won't make it to day 30 in this challenge. When God delivered the Israelites out of Egypt, he didn't take the shortcut to the promised land. He took the scenic route. Why? They weren't ready. The goal of going after a God-sized dream isn't just simply accomplishing it. It's who you become in the process. Big dreams make big people. Don't be so anxious to get out of difficult situations that you fail to get anything out of the difficult situation. You've got to learn the lesson, cultivate the character, and curate the change. Habit formation is not linear. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Did you know that there were 42 stations of the Exodus? They zigged and zagged all over Tarnation. You will experience setbacks even during this 30-day challenge, but that is when you need to press in and pray through. Those are the days when you need to double down. It can't just be all rise and shine. It's got to be rain or shine. That's good, isn't it? When you encounter an obstacle, any obstacle, think of it as resistance training. On days when you experience decision fatigue, God is building emotional fortitude. On days when you feel like throwing in the towel, God is preparing you for something bigger, something better. And I might add, it's those bad days that help us appreciate the good days. As a leader, I get frustrated when I cast a vision and people don't get it. Or worse, they oppose it. That said, I've learned to appreciate the resistance because it has a refining effect on the vision. It forces me to anticipate objections, answer questions, and thereby clarifying the vision. I don't care if your name is Moses and you come down from Mount Sinai with stone tablets inscribed by the finger of God, you will still experience resistance. It's called the diffusion of innovation bell curve. 16% of people are resistors. As leaders, we love early adopters who are on the other side of the bell curve. They're the people who will walk off the cliff with us. Can I let you in on a little leadership secret? I've come to appreciate the laggards just as much, if not more, because they force us to become better vision casters. Don't hate the haters. Listen to them. Learn from them. You may not win them over to your way of thinking, but it'll cultivate mutual respect. Can I take issue with a cultural trend? Giving every kid a trophy, regardless of performance, has unintended consequences, just like the Biosphere 2 experiment. If everyone gets a trophy, emotional fortitude muscles atrophy. You never learn how to cope with disappointment. You never learn how to get up after being knocked down. You never learn how to dig a little deeper. In her brilliant book, Mindset, Carol Dweck made a distinction between 2 very different mindsets. A fixed mindset is the belief that our capabilities are set in stone. It's nature over nurture. I was born this way. With that frame of mind, you try to avoid failure. Why? Because if you fail, you're a failure. Failure is seen as an indictment rather than an opportunity to learn. People with fixed mindsets are always on trial, always trying to prove themselves. They are only as good as their last game, the last election, the last case, or the last performance. A growth mindset is the belief that capabilities can be cultivated regardless of circumstances. That's good. It's nurture over nature. It's mind over matter. It's the belief that almost anyone can accomplish almost anything if they work at it long enough, hard enough, and smart enough. Your failure doesn't own you if you own it. How? You leverage it by learning from it. 9 times out of 10, failure is the result of poorly managed success. And let me flip that script. I love this part. Success is the result of well-managed failure. I'm not ignoring genetic or epigenetic factors when it comes to habit formation. There are heritable traits that give us advantages and disadvantages. Here's an example. If you're 5'7" and you want to play in the NBA, may the force be with you, because the odds are against you. You'll have to work longer, work harder, and work smarter. But don't tell me it can't be done. Why? At 5'7", Spud Webb didn't just play in the NBA, he won the 1986 dunk contest. Psychologist Benjamin Bloom once conducted a study of 120 outstanding achievers in a wide variety of occupations, from concert pianists to Olympic swimmers to research scientists. Most of them were not remarkable as children. There was little evidence of future accomplishment. So what set them apart? After 40 years of intensive research, my major conclusion is what any person in the world can learn, almost all persons can learn. Is that not empowering? Talk about leveling the playing field. I don't want to turn habit formation into a competition, but the prize generally goes to those who work longer, harder, and smarter. Simply put, the only limit to your dedication is learning. If you stay humble and stay hungry, there's nothing God can't do in you or through you. Habit formation is as unique as your history, personality, and chronotype. If you're a lark, you've got to get up early to go after your goals. If you're an owl, you burn the midnight oil. Either way, you've got to figure out what works for you and give the same grace to everybody else. In the words of Oswald Chambers, let God be as original with other people as he is with you. Habit formation is as different as thinkers and feelers, introverts, extroverts, goal setters, and problem solvers. One way or the other, habit formation starts with a growth mindset. It welcomes resistance as a means of growing stronger. Whatever habit you're trying to cultivate, it will get harder before it gets easier. We don't like to hear that, do we? That's par of the course. So how do I make a habit? Take the stairs. I mean that literally and figuratively. Yes, the elevator is easier, but the path of least resistance won't get you where you want to go. When given the choice, don't take the easy way out. It's a mindset and a metaphor. When presented with the option of an elevator or the stairs, you make the pre-decision to take the stairs. Why? Harder is better. The stairs and the elevator will get you to the same place, but you'll be in better shape having taken the stairs. Taking the stairs is all about adding more resistance, but that doesn't mean it has to be less fun. A few years ago, Volkswagen Sweden staged a public intervention aimed at better health. They employed something called the fun theory. Fun is the easiest way to change people's behavior for the better. The masterminds behind this intervention installed a piano staircase next to an escalator at a subway station in Stockholm. The stairs looked like and functioned like keys on a piano. That interactive staircase resulted in a 66% rise in use. The moral of the story? Along with adding resistance, add an element of fun. A major criterion for judging the anxiety level of any society, said Edwin Friedman, is the loss of its capacity to be playful. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Habit formation is serious business, but you have to have fun along the way. Self-deprecating humor allows you to learn from your mistakes by laughing at them. My advice: take God seriously, but take yourself less seriously. Habit formation is hard enough as it is. If anyone forces you to go 1 mile, Jesus said, go with them 2 miles. In other words, go the extra mile. Make it your mantra, your mission, your MO. A Roman soldier was allowed to commandeer a Jewish citizen for 1,000 paces. The first mile was required, but Jesus upped the ante. He challenged his followers to exceed expectations by going above and beyond. It's the road less traveled, but there aren't any traffic jams. When I exercise, I listen to podcasts and playlists. It's one way that I habit stack. I exercise my mind while I exercise my body. A few of my favorite podcasts are Radiolab, 99% Invisible, Freakonomics Radio, and Revisionist History. Why do I do it? Podcasts are one way that I cross-pollinate my mind by learning from a wide variety of disciplines. Plus, they distract me from the pain I'm putting myself through. I also love worshiping while I'm running. How can I not after God healed my lungs? I often listen to one of my worship playlists. That said, when I need to push my limits, I go old school. I put the Rocky IV soundtrack on repeat. Welcome to my world. When I listen to the training montage, I picture Rocky doing inverted sit-ups in an old barn, shoulder pressing an ox cart, and doing lunges in the Siberian snow. I also hear his trainer yelling, "No pain, no pain, no pain." That is a growth mindset. It's the old axiom, no pain, no gain. And that's how you make and break habits. And remember, harder is better. Take the stairs. Wow. Okay. Well, I actually made that decision when I started work here at my new office, because I literally do have an option. There is an elevator and there is stairs. And when we were first moving in, we were carrying like heavy stuff. So we were taking the elevator. And I remember after I read this, I went to go back down for something, and I went automatically to go to the elevator. And this little thought came to me, take the stairs. And so from now on, I mean, unless I'm carrying something heavy up into the office, I'm taking the stairs always. Does it hurt a little bit? Yeah, legs get tired because I go up and down quite a bit during a day, but harder is better. And I know from lifting weights that's the whole thing. It's resistance training. That's what builds muscles, right? So that's not a brand new concept, but human behavior wants the easy route, right? We do really want the path of least resistance. I do. I really do. But that's not the best, right? Sometimes, because we want to be stronger. We want to be better. We want to be sharper, right? So take the stairs today, people. All right, that is it for today's reading. Remember, we're working. Maybe you've started this challenge and you still have no idea of any habits or things that you're working on. That's what these 30 days are for. You maybe didn't know ahead of time some habits, but I encourage you to be thinking about this. Don't just watch the video and, oh, that was good, and then out of sight, out of mind. I hope you're taking notes with pen and paper, and then all day long, you're thinking two things, right? We're looking at new habits to implement, right? It's the new year, but there might be some habits that are already in your life that aren't serving you well, right? Things that have become habits in our life, and they need to be broke, right? Because they're not taking us where we want to be. So that's what we're thinking about for these 30 days. And today we're thinking about take the stairs. What I'm going to try to do, just a quick note, under each video, I'm going to try to make a little post with some highlights from the chapter. Just sometimes because you guys don't have the book, just to kind of jot your memory. What did we talk about again? I can't remember. Take the stairs. Most people should remember, but just in case. So I'm going to try to do that today for you. Thank you so much. If you caught this live, for those of you that are watching the replay, it's just as good. I would love, if you're doing it though, for you to comment somewhere, because I am praying for everybody that's doing the challenge. I am praying for you all. And so if I don't know you're taking it, most people have reached out to communicate with me that they are doing it. But if you haven't, just jot, send me a little message or jot in the comments, hey, I'm in, I'm doing this, just so that I know, so I can add you to my prayer list. Okay, that's all for day 2, you guys. I will see you tomorrow for day 3. Have a great day and take the stairs.